thanks for being here. I appreciate you coming out this evening. Before I introduce our speaker tonight, I want to first recognize Dr. Dean and Carol Nachtigall. It's because of Dr. Dean and Carol Nachtigall that we have the Nachtigall Lecture Series. So we appreciate their support of Tabor College that allows us to bring in great speakers that we've had this year. This will be the last of our Nachtigall Series lectures for the year. And it's because of them that we've been able to bring in great people to hear their entrepreneurial stories. So this evening you're in for a great treat. Dr. Dan, as he is affectionately called, is coming to us today from Nebraska. And Dr. Dan is a veterinarian, a business builder, and a passionate innovator. He has started 5 businesses, right? So I'll let him tell you all that journey, but he has his degree in animal science. He's a veterinarian. He went to Fresno Pacific, so like our First Lady, graduated from the same college, and earned a bachelor's degree in biology, and then went on to Iowa State, where he earned his degree in veterinary medicine. So when Dr. Dan is not working in the pet hospital or being an entrepreneur, he enjoys spending time with his wife and 3 children. Three daughters, and he's active in his local church, serves in kids' life, church leadership, and sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. You're going to be in for a great treat tonight to hear from Dr. Dan and all the many businesses and the journey he's had. So Dr. Dan, it's all yours.
Thanks, Linda. Hey guys, I'm Dan. Feel free to call me Dan if we talk later. If you can't hear me, let me know. Melinda will grab me a mic. I'm a veterinarian. I went to school for a long time, and now I work on cats and dogs. So just out of curiosity, how many of you guys are like doing business, entrepreneur stuff? Like, some kick idea. Okay, cool. When I was in school, back in the day, I graduated from veterinary school 2011. I didn't touch business entrepreneurship. Like, I stayed away from it. It intimidated me. So basically, I just did a whole bunch of science and math. That was basically it. So I graduated 2011, and my brother Luke came and joined me that day. That's the general doctor over there. He has big hands, which signifies the loving care a veterinarian will do for you and your pets. My parents, just amazing people. They really pushed me along through my academic career to becoming a veterinarian. Veterinarians, guys, we go to school for 4 years of undergrad and then 4 years of veterinary school. So it was a little bit of work. I did graduate top 5 in my class, and it took a while. It took a while to get there. This is me with my long, beautiful hair back in the day. And that's at the Hemingway Zoo. We were doing the penguins. If you ever decide you want to go to veterinary work, I do general practice. I do cats and dogs all day. But you can definitely work in zoos. You can work for drug companies. There's a lot of opportunities out there, guys. And as you'll see soon, you can also do a lot of entrepreneur stuff as well. This was at one of the labs in Nebraska, a bunch of beagles, basically looking at like welfare of these animals, making sure they're cared for correctly, and veterinarians are responsible for lab animals, food animals, basically anything that goes on your plate as well, okay? My day job, I work in the vet hospital. I do cats and dogs. That's it. Like, that's it. If you bring me a turtle, you know more than me, okay? So, cats and dogs. This right here, this little cigar, is demodectic mange. So those commercials where you have the animals with no fur on their body, it's really sad. They probably have mange. It's an easy diagnosis, and it's easy to treat. I thought two fun vet pictures, right? Nice. Bear with me. This right here is skin. This is air. That is subcutaneous emphysema. That dog got bit. It was leaking air out of the lungs into the skin. If you feel it, it feels like kind of foamy. It's kind of a weird feeling, you'll never forget it. But this is what I see on a daily basis. I see sick dogs, healthy dogs, all kinds of stuff, and it's pretty fun. If you are ever interested in doing veterinary medicine, let me know. So, how did this happen? You're probably thinking, this guy's really smart. Yeah, probably. No? Maybe. Okay. Anyway, no, I really struggled, guys. Vision, I have contacts, but a lot of struggle with that. Hearing, my left ear doesn't work really. I have a bad cochlea, so I stand on the right always. Speech, I have a little bit of a speech impediment. I really struggled. I went to a lot of speech therapy. Learning, a learning disability too. If I try to put words on a page, I definitely struggle with it. I'm better at it now, but it's definitely a struggle. That landed me in special ed in the 90s. I remember sitting there next to a nice gentleman with Down syndrome and a girl that was nonverbal, and I was sitting there in 4th grade holding a pencil, and they were telling me how to write my name. And I was pretty sure I knew more than that, but that's where they had me. And then Miss Lefevre came up to me and she's like, Dan, don't worry. You're gonna graduate with a special ed degree, we gotcha. And I remember thinking, that's pretty awesome. I'm gonna graduate, this is great. My parents did not like that though. So they pulled me out, we did homeschool for a couple years. After that I came back and I was in the Gen Pop in public school and I was still struggling until something happened. One day, my mom was busy, there's 5 of us boys, and I had a health assignment. And she said, Dan, I'm just kind of busy right now, could you just try it yourself? Just try it. So I took it, guys, it was easy. It was like, definition, match it, 10 of them. It should take you like 2 minutes. So I went downstairs, actually read through what I was supposed to do, and then matched them all. And for the first time, honestly, in my whole life, I actually realized I was doing it right, and I was doing it myself. And that blew me away. So we went back to 6th grade, sat down, passed the paper back and forth, we checked it, and I got 100%. And from that point forward, something clicked. I realized even though my teachers, God bless them, they were doing their best, had labeled me a certain way, I could actually do more. I had more to myself than I actually knew. So, 6th grade, guys, I was so deep in the whole 6th grade, I was not coming back. So, I got B's and C's and D's in 6th grade. My best friend, Austin Todd, called me D minus Dan. That changed, I went to A's and B's, A's. Undergrad, I was in honors, and veterinary school top 5. It's kind of like a growth curve in business, like things just came together. But it was a lot of work. Been married for about 10 years, my beautiful wife Jordan. Got 3 awesome girls, that's Hazel, Hattie, definitely the spicy one, and Maple. And then I was like, you know what? I should be an entrepreneur. Why not? I've taken 0 business classes. I got this. Because I love Shark Tank. I get back in the vet clinic, I sit down with a really good sandwich and a soda, and I would watch Shark Tank. It was awesome. My first idea was Dr. Dan's poop exam. Oh my goodness, guys. This was awesome, okay? Bear with me, okay? So, here's the deal. You go to the vet hospital, you spend a bunch of money to see the vet, you just are worried your dog might have parasites, right? That's all you're worried about. Just check the poop, right? So I was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have somebody order a container, we're gonna ship it to them, they're gonna grab the poop, send it back to me, I'm gonna go ahead and have a template, and I'm gonna write this up, I'm gonna look at it under the microscope, I do this all day already, I'm just gonna do a couple extra ones on the side, and I'm gonna say, okay, your dog has hookworms, and my template's gonna load up and tell you what it is, how to treat it, and you know what? If you want to get it from my website, even better. I'm an entrepreneur, I did it. I got my first business, this is easy. I did so many things over 6 months to get ready for this. I even walked into FedEx, I had a big board table. I was like, yeah, we got a tight lead time on this, and my team and I have got funding. There was no funding. And we had a plan to how to lower prices for mailing these boxes, because I was gonna do like hundreds a day. So instead of waiting to do this at the very end, or at the very beginning, I waited to the very end. I finally consulted a parasitologist, who I knew. I'm a veterinarian, I'm a professional. I know all this. I'm like the professional you guys come to get advice on your businesses, right? The parasitologist is like, you know what, Dan, it's a good idea, but they've already done this before. They did it back in the 90s, PetSmart did it. And guess what happened? Humans were sending in their poops.
Oh, no.
And there was pinworms and hepatitis, and I was like, really? I was gonna do this in a vet lab, and now you're telling me there's human poop coming my way? And I have liability for hepatitis and pinworms? No, business done. Done before I even started. So that's when I realized I need to start game planning if I'm gonna do this business thing. So why not? I've done 6 businesses. This one doesn't really count, we're still working on this one. But I did these 5 other ones, and they've been fun. One thing I want you to remember, guys, I believe Christ Jesus is our Lord and Savior. He is the foundation. My marriage is number 2, my kids, entrepreneurship is last for me. Remember, entrepreneurship, businesses, it's gonna go up and down. You're gonna have awesome days, and you're gonna have really, really bad days. And if you don't have a firm foundation in who you are and the people around you, it's gonna be tough. So I'd really encourage you, figure out what that is for you before you dive into entrepreneurship, because it will make life harder if you don't have a good base. I'm a dad, come on, give me a break, more kids. Wife. Okay, so these are my takes on entrepreneurship, and it's just my opinion as someone who's not as smart as you, because you guys are in business school and entrepreneurship, but I like to have a need, a requirement, and your focus or skill set. I know I listen to a lot of podcasts too. Focus and skill sets usually like number 1. Like, what are you passionate about? What are you good at? What do you want to come in and do day in and day out? Let's go focus on that. But what I like to think is it a need? Is it like something that someone has to? Is it food? Do we need to eat it? Do people need it? Is it? I don't like wants. And is it a requirement? Can we somehow make this something that's required, like a driver's license or education? Like, can we somehow force people to need to use my business? So with all that ideas I had, this one came in the middle of all these other ones because I was doing so good. I was like, you know what, this sounds like a fun idea. I'm gonna make this company right here, Bougie Backyard Chickens. And I'm not gonna follow any of my rules. So this is my daughter. We had chickens, and we just really enjoy chickens in Nebraska, I guess. But this is my product right here. Check this out. This is super cool. It's just, what it is back in the day, we did this in 2021? And there was this product over here that was on Amazon. It was selling really, really well. If any of you use like Jungle Scout or other back-end products, you could look at this and be like, it sold a lot. It had poor margins, but what it is there's a chain, it hooks up, there's food on it, the birds eat it, it's entertaining, it's fun, and a lot of people have backyard chickens. So I don't care if the margins are tight, I'm gonna have a lot of volume. And I'm gonna fix this product too. Look at this, I hate to be mean, but that's garbage, we can do better. And then it's a popular hobby. So what did I do? Oh yeah, this got crazy in a hurry. I made a bowl. I drew this out for months. We have this skewer, and we have this bell for fun and interacting with the chicken. And we have colors. Holy cow! Pick your favorite color. We got original, gold, rainbow, and then this was huge. So what was happening? The other product is they were screwing it on, and the screw was falling off the chicken coop, and people on Amazon were so mad about it. So when I had this made over in China, I told them, could you run mine on the very end of your run, and could you just punch a hole in it? They hated that idea. But after like 2 months of bugging them, they did it. And then I had them round the top off as well, because I don't want someone cutting their hand open. And then I talked to my insurance guy, and he wrote a claim for me, so if anyone cuts their hand, I don't lose everything I have. So basically, just protecting myself. Oh, look how good that looks. And I packaged all of these. They came to our house in giant boxes, and we boxed them all up. And if you bought it from us on Amazon, it looked just like that. As an example, mealworms in here, bell, big old watermelon. Who loves this idea? Give me some love.
That's awesome.
Thanks, guys. It was a lot of work. And I'm not a photographer, but I put all this down right here and had my wife Jordan hold it. It looked so good. So we do the design up. I went on Alibaba. I'm sure all of you are familiar with that. We did it about 8 years ago and it wasn't as popular, but we started working on that with a couple other projects and I got pretty good at talking to people over there. Set up our Amazon. 6 months later we launched. Oh yeah, we got them. But no, then we closed. It went horrible, guys. We sold a ton during November, December, January. You know that little bing you hear on your phone when you sell something? We were rocking and rolling for like 3 months. It was crazy. But then the Amazon fees, they just went from where they just went up so quick on our products. And then the returns, there was not a lot of returns. But you guys know how Amazon is. If you don't love it, or if you use it for a little bit and you're done with it, you just send it back. So we have tight margins, our holding fees are getting higher, our returns are less than 5%, but they're still happening. The market price is dropping. Oh, these other ones, they're not as good, but people don't know that. And their prices are dropping too. And we just run to the bottom with them. And we're just losing. Our margins shrink all the way, and then we close. And I was bummed about it, but I wasn't gonna ride it to the bottom. I couldn't. I wasn't going to. And it's something about me. If I feel like we're just gonna keep losing money month in and month out, even though it's a small project, we're done. Lost about 20,000 on it, liquidated about 100,000 units. The person that got out the best is, I brought this up at a barbecue with my family, and my brother, who does a lot of investing with me, I was like, dude, you should totally do this. Like, look at my track record. And he did not invest. It was me and my wife, so smart guy. That was a good idea. Village Animal Hospital, yeah, so this is my first love. I am a veterinarian. We opened Papillion Animal Hospital, and Dr. Mike started it. I joined him after. You guys have probably heard of sweat equity. That's what this was. Like, we talked about me buying in, but when it came down to it, he's like, Dan, if you could just work for a while, that'd be great. And he paid me very, very little. Like, literally, my bank account shrunk every month as I worked hard. But we walked the neighborhood, like this was before COVID, and we used to have one or two appointments a day, and I'd be his assistant, he'd be my assistant, or people would call, and I'd be like, hey, this is Dan. And they'd ask, like, how's the vet over there? Like, he's great. You should totally come in. But then the neighborhood stuff was going really poorly. Like, people really didn't want to talk to me. It's annoying that someone walk up to you and be like, hey, here's a flyer for you. So I got this idea, the local vaccine clinic. I knew this guy, nice guy. He had a bunch of clinics, and he worked purely on volume. People would be coming in, and you'd vaccinate them, you'd send them on their way. But when an animal was sick, think about it, it's a vaccine clinic. He's not gonna fix them. And he doesn't want the liability of them going home and dying or not getting better. So I took a giant stack and I went to his office and put him down. I said, here's the plan. These are all free visits. If you have an animal that's sick, just hand it to him and say, Dr. Dan's really good over there. You should go see him. And this is a free visit. And the liability's off you and I'll handle them. The next day, I had some clients, and every day after that, we kept seeing new people. Yeah, so I lost like 40 bucks on an exam, but I do an x-ray, I do blood work, I'd work them up, I'd fix the pet, and we would get paid. And that relationship has grown immensely. He still sends us animals, not as often, but we're just really busy now. But we're looking to get people in the door. Sometimes the best solution isn't just you, it's positioning your business with others around you, or making some approach to advertising in a different way. Because it's all about just being as smart as you can when you're trying to get the business off the ground. COVID was crazy for the veterinary world. It blew up. Everyone got dogs and cats. People sat in their houses, stared at their pets, and they're like, I think you're sick. And they bring them in nonstop. So the clinic blew up after that. I did become an owner. I sold my shares back, that's what I do, and then I'm a W-2 employee now, but that was a great ownership opportunity for me. Alright, so I'm a YouTuber, if you guys didn't know. Most of you probably walked in and you're like, that guy's famous. No, honey did. No, it's okay guys, it's okay. If you ever meet my wife, she will tell you I'm a YouTuber, and it's embarrassing. I'm like, no, I'm a veterinarian, honey. But for YouTube, guys, I started in 2019, and to be a YouTube partner, you need 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. That took me just over a year. I recorded a video every week. I posted a video every week. I got paid nothing for it, and it was a lot of work. I do long form content. But I do believe, as a solo entrepreneur, this is probably the best thing you can do to see if you want to be an entrepreneur, because consistency, dedication, and you get paid nothing. Nothing. And you just hope someday it pays off. I do believe if you put the time in and your content carries value, you will become a YouTube partner. There is less than 1% of the people on YouTube are partnered with YouTube. When I finally got to that point, I took my biggest fans out for a steak dinner. It was my wife's parents, because he would get up every day, press play, watch my horrible videos, and then write a comment. And it was awesome. Again, find those people in your life that you know will support you and also encourage you if you're having a hard day, or also make sure that you're on the right path too. Brand deals, I get a lot of emails from drug companies and products of all kinds. It's fun. Like, I get to go on dinners and events, and at the last conference in Vegas, there was like an influencer hangout. It was really lame, guys. It was a bunch of veterinarians that were famous, and we were on dog TV. It was weird. But anyway, it's good, it's good. Give you an idea? This is one of my first videos here that I ever did. It's pretty rough. Don't watch it. But it's made me about $1,100 over here. Took me about an hour and a half to make. If you look at this right here, back in October to September the next year, it got 0. It flatlined. What I do is I make videos, I put a lot of work into them, I let them sit, let them bake, and then at some point it will take off and people will watch it. This is a more characteristic video of mine. Like, nobody will watch it, then somebody will watch it, and then it will like slowly increase, and it's pretty typical to make a couple $100 off a video. This is more of like a political one about Prop 129 that I disagreed with. As you can see, people really don't care about that kind of stuff in the veterinary world. So if you get a video that's poor, definitely like don't go back to it. Like you should be picking what makes money and people view. And you guys, you gotta have the clip like this. Like look at that. Look at my face. That's crazy. So I want to show you something really quickly here though. This is the video that I just showed you that had that many views, 240,000. This one only has 21,000. And this one made 1,100, and this one made 1,200, with far fewer views. So I could do a whole lecture on YouTube and how to grow it, but one thing I tell people is, if you're gonna do YouTube, this video right here is talking about Trupanion and pet insurance. So I make money off clicks, and if you click and watch for some duration, I make more money. And if there's a brand behind it, if you do a brand, you will make even more money. So if you're a baseball player, you talk about a product, you will make more money off AdSense, even if you're not brand labeled with them. But so I showed you YouTube, it's fun. Let's talk about some real companies now. VetOnIt is a veterinarian CE company, continuing education. So I have a friend, his name's Dan as well, it's convenient, both named Dan, and he works on education for nurses. I am a veterinarian, and I was like, at Chipotle one day, I was like, hey, what if we started a company that we made education for veterinarians, because it's required by the state, it's a need, and I know what I'm doing. He's like, it's great. So we started this company, and here's how it works. You need to get a speaker. That's easy. I know a lot of people. I'm just gonna call around the different universities and tell somebody like, hey, want to come talk for like 8 hours, 5 hours? I'll pay you a few thousand. Most people say sounds good. Okay, we can do that. So we'll get somebody to talk. A venue. I'm in Omaha. Venues are pretty cheap at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Let's do that. We can do a venue. And then catering. If you're gonna go listen to a lecture, you gotta have food, gotta have snacks, gotta have lunch, gotta have dinner. We'll feed them really well, and they'll come back. Even if this guy's a horrible speaker, dude, they'll come back because they were fed, and also the education part, the CE. In Nebraska, you're required to have so many CE certificates. What we're gonna do is we're gonna email you your certificate before the event's even done. So you'll pocket that. You'll be all set. So the first speaker came. It was a success. That is Simon Platt from Mississippi, really cool neurologist. That's young Dan right there, many years ago. But anyway, Simon showed up. We flew him in. We paid for everything. We picked him up, and he's like, "Man, you guys are like really good. You've been doing this a while." And I was like, "No, you're the first one, Simon." And I could tell he was definitely a little bit nervous. And I'm like, "Don't worry, everybody already paid. It's fine. We're good. We got this." So Simon spoke about neurology. He did a super job. This is an example of if you were a veterinarian, we pulled your email, your contact information from the state, you paid for it, and then we were able to send this as a blast out to you. And you saw everything very clear, how many hours, which states, food, super simple. It's a need, it's a requirement, focus, those are my rules, make your own up. So, email from the state, social media targeting, and we booked the seats online. Okay, so my wife gets tired of me starting businesses, but we started this one, and she was so nervous because I was like, okay, we're gonna pay this guy this much money, we're gonna pay for the venue, we're gonna pay for the food, and we have no seats booked yet. And about 10 days in, they started booking super quick. But she was freaking out because we didn't have any money to pay for this until people booked seats. So we sold, on the first event, we sold 175 seats, $119 a piece, made about 20K. Speaker, venue, catering, we netted about $10,000 on our first try of it. Pretty easy. The small Omaha market, so I was feeling pretty good because this was pretty easy. So my plan was, I want to go nationwide with it. I figured if I could rock this in one little Omaha area, I could do this in every state, rotating states. I could fly out there, present the person, and then everything could be done online except for the public speaking aspect of it. Super easy. Oh man, COVID happened. Yeah, so we were revving up, doing great. COVID happened, we just canceled some of our events. And kind of with Bougie Backyard Chickens, if I'm cool pushing through, if the other side looks good. I did not know what COVID was gonna give me. I did not wanna play this game. My business partner said, "Dan, let's go online." I know the market, there was a lot of online people already. I said, I'm gonna sell. So I sold to my business partner, really cool guy, he appreciated it. He ran the company 5 more years, then he sold it, it's still out there today. It's a good company, but we don't own it anymore. And now for my biggest accomplishment, eco-animal cremation. This is definitely, before my daughter this is definitely my business baby. So, as a veterinarian, unfortunately, I put a lot of dogs down. Every veterinarian does. Like, dogs are puppies, and they're middle age, and they get old, they get problems or cancer, they get organ issues, and then no matter what you do, you have to put them down and they pass away. Unfortunately, burials and those kind of things aren't really a thing anymore, so cremation has to be our next step. In Nebraska, we were doing all flame-based. Water cremation is something I saw in California, and it's environmentally friendly, And I know it sounds confusing, but basically we buy these really expensive machines. You use a high alkaline water, you have some motion to the water, high pressure, high heat, and it's kind of like if you were buried at sea, but it happens in about 24 hours in our machines. Or if you were buried in the ground with no casket, you get the same bone results in about 24 years. But we were processing these pets in these machines in about 1 day. So, these are it right here. These are beautiful. These are our pet cremation machines. We had 3 of them stacked up like that. Each machine can hold about, depending on the animal, about 14 pets. They have cradles. We put them in there. They don't mix. They're separate. And there was about 5 crematoriums in Omaha when we started. And when we were done, it was us and 2 others. So my friends used to say it was like cremation wars, because it kind of was. It was crazy. So this is our product. We'd have a beautiful paw print and a beautiful urn, and we'd engrave everything ourselves. But check this out. This is 2 years later. This is what we started with. We like hand stenciled that in. We drew stuff. It wasn't blacked. You can't tell this is a different kind of urn type. Every day we were getting better. We were learning. We were learning how to use a CO2 laser and black letters. We were learning how to make a paw print better. Man, our paw prints were so bad at first. I gave so many refunds, and then we got, by doing it every day, we got so good at it. Then we were like, let's add something to this. Let's do an acrylic. Nobody else does that. We take an ink, and then we cut it and do an acrylic slab, and then we have these like paws as well. People loved these. And you know what? We were the only people that did it in all of Nebraska. So all of a sudden we became incredibly unique for our environmental aspect, and we also had other options too with the acrylics. Why did I do it? So I thought I could do it better. I really did. We would work on these pets, give them the best medicine and care possible, and then some guy would show up in a beat up minivan, wearing cut jeans, and a white shirt. It was just sloppy. And they had messed up animals before, and they kept changing providers, and they'd mess it up again. And then it'd be one person only. Let's say I had a 100-pound dog. They'd call my staff and be like, hey, can you help me over here? And I'm like, dude, I'm paying you to do cremation. Why are you bothering my staff? So one day I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna do water cremation. And she didn't believe it until we decided to move forward with everything. So this was our open house. That's me like touching the machine. This is my brother who later became my business partner. One thing I realized with this is people will definitely support you. They'll be happy for you. But the jump from verbal support and acknowledging you to actually being there for you, like physically, dude, that's a big jump. Like literally, we had like 2 people show up. It was crazy. We sent out so many flyers. I called so many people, and 2 people showed up. And one homeless guy walked in. He walked in and goes, "Is this an art show?" And we were like, "No, no." And we gave him some food. He walked out. But it was a rough night. How did we get this started? Yeah, we had no money. So we did have a duplex that we were using for retirement. We sold that. I emptied out my retirement fund, emptied out my wife's retirement fund. My wife loves me a whole lot. She's so sweet. Family loans, this was an awkward one. Like literally, guys, I was so deep. I had the machine purchased, I had the space. The plumbers wanted more money, and I was out of money because I miscalculated. It's always gonna cost more, always. So I had to call my in-laws and tell them I needed more money. They're really nice people. They gave me a loan with no interest, and I paid them back over a couple years. I paid them back first, because even though they're nice, it's not good owing family money. It's just weird. It's just weird. Credit card debt at one point, and guys, I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan. I don't believe in credit. I mean, having debt. I was $70,000 in debt on a credit card at one point. It got wild for a bit. And then machine loans. All the machines were financed through Western Equipment. I had never taken a business class. I wrote a business plan. I explained to these loan guys I could run a business, and they gave me a loan. I mean, I had some things going for me as a veterinarian, but I did not know how to do a business. The machines cost about $100,000 a piece. I had 3 of them. I bought them slowly over time, don't worry. We had to prove our concept first. But one bone machine, bone processor was $50,000, plumbing $50,000. We all know the lease space and all the extra junk you put in there cost a bunch of money. And like I said, I was budgeting for 25%. I easily hit 40% over. I really overshot that. But what we did is we ran with one of these at a time. We had one machine at a time. And once we had enough clients and enough cash flow, we would then take another loan after one loan was resolved to get the next machine. So we basically inched along every couple of years, buying more machines. Okay, here's the model. You're like, Dan, how do you make money? How do I go find somebody to make money? Pet passes at the vet clinic. The vet clinic offers our service. We build a vet clinic. It's B2B. We need vet clinics to sign up. So I did have some leverage. I knew a couple people. So I got 2 vet clinics right away. So they paid like some of the bill. I still work as a veterinarian full time, and all my money from that job went to this sucker to keep it afloat. It was rough. I would get up so at 4 in the morning. I'd run animals, run to my next job, and then run back. And I was paying my own. I was putting money into this company to keep it afloat as I worked as hard as I possibly could. It hurt. It really hurt. So here's my pitch deck. So what I did is I would sit in my car. I would think really hard about being awesome. I'd play some music, and then I'd walk in and be like, hey, can I tell you about cremation? And most people would be like, we'll call you. So weeks would go by, and then somebody would call me. And then I'd go in, and I'd tell them why you should go with me. So one, I'm a veterinarian. I'm just like you. You can trust me. The same service you provide, I'll provide here. My team always wears scrubs. We're not gonna show up looking rough. We're gonna wear scrubs, just like your team. We're all the same. We always have 2 team members picking up. No more of your team having to like stop what they're doing and stop the blood draw to help out. We're gonna do all of it. We handle all pet parent concerns. Once the pet is in my hands, if somebody calls because they're mad or doesn't like something, it's me. I got it, don't worry about it. I showed them all of our urns, all of our products. One thing I think we did really well is the other crematoriums had a binder of options. I had 4. And I said, this is the best ones, but everyone picked the most cost effective. These are more expensive. I had pictures of all of them. When someone's crying, they're upset about their pet being lost, I've been in the room a whole bunch. I know what's going on. It's gonna be a quick pick. All you gotta do is hand this laminated document, and they're gonna go, I want that one, and you're done. 100% satisfaction or no charge, I really don't care. If they don't like it, I'll zero it out. Because you know what, it's probably not gonna happen. Because 1, we do a great job, but 2, they have to complain to their vet, and their vet's gonna be like, okay, well don't worry about it. Very rarely will a vet go the next step and call the provider. It's super rare. I've been in the practice for a long time, it doesn't happen. Oh my goodness, it was so rare to comp something. Maybe once every 2-3 months, but we guaranteed it. Like I said, we had simple pricing. I always said that I did not discriminate based on a pet's weight. Dogs would come in, they'd weigh 120 pounds, and some crematoriums would charge them like $300. I was like, no, let's see what we do with drugs. Let's average it out, everyone pays the same amount. That Chihuahua has just the same amount of value as the Great Dane does. So now, the vet clinic's not like, oh man, the price jumps by $30 next pound. Now they're like, oh, this is easy. When they go to Dan, it's $120 every time. That's easy, I'm gonna use Dan. And we did something nobody else did, we wholesaled. I told the vet clinics, nobody's giving you money right now, right? What if you could keep your price where it is, I'm gonna undercut everybody in town by about 25%, and you just keep the rest. You bill them out, you collect the money, I'll bill you at the end of the month, and you keep that extra little bit of money. Some clinics were like, we'll just charge the client less. Great, I love that. But a lot of them said, sounds great. We are holding the pet in our freezer. We are taking responsibility for getting the pet back. We have liability. Sounds good, we'll take it. All right, let's see how it went. Year 1, 2 clinics. That's horrible. It was rough. It was really rough. Year 2, we had 5. And this is all me. This is all me, like getting up every day. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't do it again. I'm too old for it now. Year 3, oh, the jump's happening. So people, they're calling me now. They want me to come in. So we're coming in talking to clinics, doing pitches regularly now. And it's getting pretty exciting. And all of a sudden, right about here, we're making money. We lost so much right here, but we're making money finally. Finally, it took forever. So year 4, 17, at this point, I am no longer the face of the company. My brother, he got sweat equity, he got some of it as well, and he took over for me. He was the one that went in. He was the one that talked to everybody. Everybody knew Luke. Everybody loved Luke. He's so nice. And he carried us. Now, if there's a problem, I would show up. But usually, all I just went to my staff, I managed the books, but besides that, it was all Luke. And then year 5 happened. We had limited space. We were really struggling to find space. I bought that 3rd machine a year out, and we were like, okay, so we got a year out, and when we finally got it in, then we were stabilizing with 32 clinics. But it got really busy for a while. I always told everyone on our team, someday everyone will be forced to use us. I didn't mean that in a mean way. I just meant, I had these clinics, I would go in and they'd be like, no thanks, Dan. We use these people over here, they're great. But if pet parents walked in and they go, we really like Dan, we want to use his service, they're going to be forced to use us. That's what happened. So I failed to lock them up on the B2B, but I got them directly. So what we did is, we would go in with a big pile of QR code ones, all the same stuff on it, all the earns, all the prices, but Eco Animal, my company, was acting as a vet clinic now. I changed it in the LLC to a vet clinic. So basically, we pulled ourselves up as a vet clinic, and we wholesale to ourselves. So then what I did is, these companies, I hand these cards out, and they go, okay, you don't want to use our service? Here's Dan's card. And these people would scan the QR code, it would go directly to our system, and it would drop in our Dropbox, and then somebody would call them within a certain time frame, however we planned out with that clinic. And then we would collect the extra little bit of money because we wholesale to ourselves, and usually we made more because my staff was better trained to talk about paw prints, talk about other options. The staff in vet clinics were great. They were also my employees, but my employees did an excellent job at locking up these QR orders. By the end, probably about 7 a day. That's huge. I mean, people are dropping like $200 on some of these cases. Okay, it was a point where you guys are in business. You've heard this so many times. Time to work on the business and not in the business. If you listen to Dave Ramsey, the treadmill operator, that was me. I was running and running and running and running. So we need to fix the top line. From 2018 to 2024, we raised prices pretty dramatically. The initial game plan here was to undercut everybody, and we did a great job at that. We got a lot of clients. But then what we did is we established trust, and the market trusted us so heavily because, guys, we did a really, really good job. We raised the prices about 7%, margins improved, and you know what? We kept every single client. And nobody really cared. I cared more. Sometimes in business, we get so worked up on what people are gonna think or if they're gonna respond poorly. But if you have a product and a brand that is trusted and people are expected to use you, you can raise a price and no one's gonna care. So, I'll just talk about this. We had a bunch of videos as well that we constantly played. This was for the pets that passed away, that the owners did not want the ashes back. The other guys, I don't know what they did with them. There was back and forth discussion about what they did. We would take them to Wyoming and we'd spread them out here on some of our family property, and people love this, and for good reason. My wife told me the other day, even though I don't own this company anymore, my wife told me that people on Facebook still talk about eco-animal spreading ashes in Wyoming, which is remarkable. Alright, so we fixed the top plane. Let's fix our net. Our net was atrocious. It was so bad. We were doing a lot of work, and we weren't getting a lot out of it. Like, sometimes we do just like these huge orders, and we look at it and be like, how much money do we make? And it's hard to work hard and consistently when you're not getting paid what you think you deserve. So let's fix this. So as I said, with Bougie Backyard Chickens, I already had a lot of experience ordering overseas, and yeah, I have no business experience. I just start calling people and messaging people and building relationships. Long lead times, large orders. That's the name of the game. What we would do is, I made all my own urns. I would look at what the urns were that we were getting from a third party in America, and I would literally set a picture. I would measure it, tell them, no, I want it this big, and I'd send it to them. And they'd send me a sample, and then I'd measure it, and if it was garbage, I'd send it back and say it's wrong, do it again. And we'd keep doing this for months until it was perfect. And once I had a perfect one in hand, I would then order it. And we would order a lot. No joke, guys, like the margins, like I definitely want to do work in the US. I think it's amazing, but to win this battle, we had to go overseas, and we were cutting prices drastically. India, I did India because the textiles out there, the brass, the marble, so much better. This was a little more challenging. I have some rules with how I approach these kind of situations with getting people to produce stuff for me, but this company ended up being just fabulous, and we knocked prices off our brass and marble. We were buying these for about 35 bucks, and we got them, it was about $12.50, so just huge. And that's like we don't change anything, and we're pocketing, additional, $12-ish every time, or a little bit more. That's just, and we do like 10 of those a day. It's huge. This is some of our storage. We had a bunch of storage units. I have an outbuilding on my property. We were just stacking them high, kind of like Indiana Jones. Also, we designed our own bags. We were using paper bags that we got from a US company. They were kind of falling apart. They were kind of messy. So we went ahead and we made up our own measurements. We took our urns, put our urns in there, and we picked exactly the fabric we wanted. We used big jute bags and the sides, and if it fell over, made it longer so it wouldn't damage the urn. And again, we saved a lot of money, but you know what? This was a better product, and people love the change. Buying overseas, again, like guys, this is just my take on it. I always ask for videos and pictures. And in my videos, I ask them to introduce themselves, say my name, and talk to me about my product. If they can't say my name, there's a communication problem. We need to be able to communicate. Even if it's broken English, that's fine, but we need to be able to talk. And then two, I want to make sure it's not just a generalized video feed, not from their factory. I want to see your factory, I want to see my product, I want you to talk to me. And then most people will call me and talk to me later. I provided in China, great guy, his name's Maverick, crazy. Maverick is awesome, and he was huge in our company growth. With samples, don't get impatient. Like some of you, I'm sure, can do like Amazon or other stuff, selling like drop shipping. I don't like that stuff. I want to see my product, make sure it's good, have a correct sample in your hands before you mass produce it. You will get garbage if you don't. I know because I did this. For Bougie Backyard Chickens, I had to make a bowl for me, a modified build. A modified build is basically plywood. We put it outside, it fell apart. I wasted like $5 grand on that. That was stupid. You always need to test the samples you get before you do a big order. Don't be impatient, it will hurt you in the long run. I always do a small order first. I know some of them have minimums, but guys, if you just tell them, you pay for your samples, you build trust, and then, your time waits? Okay. Okay, how many?
10 minutes.
And last, help with imports. In all seriousness, if you guys want a good importer, I have an email at the end. I can give you his contact information. I have a really good importer. He's great. I have gotten calls from the U.S. government before saying like, Dan, if you don't get this product off this boat, we're gonna bill you like so many thousands per day. If you have a good importer, they will move things through for you. And all we were doing was burns. It wasn't a big deal. But anyway, have someone you can trust on imports. Some of them will do it for you, but if you do through through India, they usually don't. Acrylic paw prints, I mentioned we did this, we made these beautiful acrylics for people, they loved it. This is another example of how we can fix our bottom line. These were taking 2 to 4 hours to cut, and we shrunk it to 30 minutes just by buying a CO2 laser and running about 10 at one time. This is my beautiful wife when we first opened, but it shows our really janky like cutter we had. But once we were able to, we bought more and we did it faster. And this is a great example of proving your concept first. We totally could have spent more money and like leveled up right away, but we don't know if people are gonna buy it, if they're gonna use it. Acrylic paw prints, nobody was doing this. We knew they do the cremation, we were not sure about this. But at the end, we were doing about 30 of these a day, but we leveled up to that. So prove your concept first. And it's, again, just an example of our acrylics we did and how good they look. We had a good margin on those. I want to stress, your margin comes down to, this acrylic, guys, but locally, about $3 to buy, okay? We sold that for about 45 bucks. Now I know that's crazy margins, but think about this. I had to pay somebody to be an artist to get a nose print of a dog that had passed away and then cut it. So there is a lot of work, a lot of artistry, a lot of practice, and the client doesn't even pay for that. So if you're really, really good at something and you have value, make sure you charge for that value. And last, we just changed our driving schedule. This goes along with, I was really worried about people getting angry at me. And I was like, hey, we're gonna pick up daily. When an animal passes away, I'm gonna get in my car. Oh, just so you guys know, I had a Dodge Dart, brand new. I traded that in for a white van to pick up dead dogs. Yeah, no joke. Yeah. So anyway, we every day we change it to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. How did I pick Monday, Wednesday, Friday? That's what my competitors were doing. And I knew I already had the clients. So if I flagged to that, nobody's gonna notice. Not gonna care. And we did that and people didn't care. Why did we wait? We didn't have the money. We grew slowly. Time, I was always working on the business. I was in it. And proof of concept. Prove your concept. Make sure people buy it. Don't go out there and like buy everything under the sun before. Just make sure people will buy it before you waste money. Couple quick things, challenges. Check this out. This was my $50,000 bone processor, completely beat up. We decided we're gonna move locations. This was a big move. We bought a building and we were debating. I was like, hey, should we move this ourselves? We always had insured people moving stuff for us. We debated for a while, and I was like, Luke, my brother, who's my business partner, if we break this, we're done. We're done. and we never put ourselves in a done situation. If we hire somebody, it's gonna cost a little bit of money, but we're not done. So we hired somebody to do it. Thank goodness we did. And they were insured. So I'm at the vet clinic doing my thing. I know everything's being moved that morning. It'll all be plugged in by noon. We'll be running by 1 o'clock. Remember, animals are passing away every day. About 50 are showing up on my front door every day. We can't stop. If we stop, we lose business. It's hard to restart. So he calls me, he's like, Dan, there's a problem. And I said, only time there's a problem if someone's hurt. So my first thing is, who's hurt? He's like, nobody's hurt, sorry. I'm like, great. How are the machines? They're fine. Well, good, we're fine then. But the bone processor is sitting on Highway 50, and they're scooping it up right now, and it's completely broken. Okay. Well, here's the plan. When we first opened up, I bought this guy. I didn't recommend it. It's horrible. It has a big blade, makes a mess. It's loud. They wear earmuffs and glasses, and it's just dangerous. I don't like it. But I kept it. I put it in storage and left it there. Then I bought this sucker. I overpaid. It was bad math. But I bought this sucker. It's a human one. That's why it cost so much. But I thought, hey, I hate this guy. I'm gonna overdo it now. This guy broke. I called the guy, the company, they're local, and I was like, hey, I'm sorry you're having a rough day. There's no reason to be mad, right? I know I'm good. So talk to me, what happened? Yeah, it fell off, didn't strap it right. Okay, what do you want to do about it? Well, we're insured. Great. Should we start the process? Can I pay you cash instead? That's okay. Well, let me see. Let me talk to my accountant and see how much it's worth. I think we'd appreciate it, okay? So I hang up, call my accountant, and he's like, get 35 out of him. Okay, so I call back and say, I'll take 35 cash. And the guy says, let me think about it. Calls him, and this is why I'm doing my other job. I'm, as a veterinarian, seeing pets, and I'm walking out and being like, hey, so 35,000? Like, back and forth. And he comes back and says, yeah, sounds great. We'll do 35K. Great. So I said, I'm not there, I'm kind of busy. My brother will be there. He'll collect the money, you take the machine, and he'll go grab this sucker. So we plugged it into the new space, and me and my brother Luke, because this thing's way slower, we're there till like midnight, every night, for like 3 weeks, processing pets, as we waited for this sucker to show up. But the cool thing is, I had like 10,000 on the loan still for this one. I got 35K. I cleared this and basically bought that. I like came out on top. That was crazy. Besides, I had to work a whole bunch more. After it showed up, we pulled that back into storage, saved it for later, and then that one took the place of it. My big rule of thumb at Eco Animal, always have a backup. Because if you're not functioning, basically you're done. We ran out of chemicals during COVID. Luke went down to Alabama to get them. It was crazy. He came back, dumped them in the machine, we kept going. I'm just gonna wrap this up pretty quick, so I know you guys' time is valuable. We had a staff member that got really mad at me because I fired him. He broke in, stole a bunch of stuff, and then he committed bank fraud. He's in jail now, but protect yourself, guys. Protect yourselves. So like, making sure whatever you do, you protect your business, yourself, your staff, because I'm paying all these people's salaries. I'm responsible for them. You need to make sure that you put the right things in place to protect your business. We had 7 staff members. We got a commercial building, largest private cremation in Nebraska. I only worked 2 hours a week. It was pretty awesome. Just had another job. One of my clients called me like, Dan, someone's sniffing around trying to like get our business, because people knew who I was at that point. And I called this company and I said, what are you doing? I remember it's cremation wars. I'm like, what are you doing? That's like my clinic. And they're like, oh no, we're from New York. We're a big company. We're interested in like what you're doing. Here's the deal. I had to upgrade software and hardware anyway. And we didn't have, it was gonna be a big investment. And I was done. I was tired. I needed a checkpoint in life. So we decided to sell them. It was pretty crazy. They came in, took me to dinner. We talked for 6 months, bunch of lawyer stuff, negotiated. We sold in December. It was pretty cool. I made a lot of money off of it. I definitely was sad when it all ended, but it was definitely an adventure, you know, guys. It was pretty darn cool. Everyone kept their jobs. My brother runs the place now. Everyone has insurance. They get paid a little bit more. I did all I could to afford all those people, but it was a good transition for everybody. Okay, that is it, guys. If you actually want to get a hold of me, feel free to email me. Just write Tabor in the subject line. That way I don't look over you. But if you ever have any questions, if you do any business stuff, or if you do YouTube, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to chat. And if you have any questions now, let's throw some hands up. Yeah?
So, I've heard various opinions. How does going into business with family work? Because I've heard people who are
You are
there's
so
no
right.
quicker way to break up a family.
You are so right. So,
So how does that
I will never do it again. Yep. My brother Luke was a very special guy. Like we worked really well together. We had a couple fights about stuff, nothing crazy, but we had a couple different disagreements. But he really cared about the business, and so did I. And then I controlled everything, so it wasn't like we were like 50-50. What I said went. And then when we sold, I gave him a bigger cut of money to be like, thank you for everything you did for us. So I probably won't do it again. Be very careful with that. And it worked well for me, but I probably won't do it ever again. Yep. Yep. Any other thoughts, guys? Okay. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate your time.
Well, Dr. Dan, my China guy is Arvin.
Yes.
I'm an FBM. I do FBA, so too. I hope you learned a lot. I've learned a lot about different kinds of businesses and things that work and things that don't work. And YouTube. How many of you have ever tried YouTube? You guys?
Nice.
A couple of you? Yeah. I can see you doing that. But lots of good stories and good advice for us to take away. Yeah, for sure. So if you have questions for Dr. Dan, he does reply. I email him multiple times. He does reply. So reach out to him and pick his brain and ask him some of these hard questions. I know some of you have really thought about going into business, and talk to somebody who's a step ahead of you. What worked, what didn't, even if it's not in the pet cremation space, right? Did you know you were going to learn about pet cremation? I didn't know. I learned a lot. But whatever it is, your journey has lots of the same kind of struggles in terms of, like, I sell on Amazon too, and so we could probably talk about lots of things.
I struggled on Amazon.
Yeah, it's tough. But so talk to somebody that's a step ahead of you to learn some things to do, some do's and don'ts. But Dan, appreciate you coming all the way to Tabor College and speaking into us. We appreciate you guys. Let's give you one more hand. So thanks again for coming. Tonight is our last night of Nachtigall, but we'll look forward to kicking them off again in the fall. All right, team? Thanks so much. Appreciate you.